Welcome to the Proscats. I am Prosper,
Yes, I am David. Yeah,
who I'm joined here with, and
indeed.
we are back with another movie review. And this
The
week,
second one,
the second one, the second one, but not the last. And
not the
we are
last.
we
There
are
will be more.
hopefully this is we're assuming. I don't know. The state of the economy and all. It's
Yeah, we'll see
murky.
how this one does.
We got to
We'll see the
secure
returns.
sponsors too.
Yeah,
I re-
Manscaped.
I reached out to Sassy Sensations. They have yet to get back to me.
Did you actually?
No. No. We are reviewing The Gentleman. Uh,
The
it's a
gentleman.
it's a Guy Ritchie film. It's quite a lad film, if you will. It's like a boys movie. You know what I mean? Did you get that vibe from watching it?
I did. I
It's
did
it's
for the
it's
boys.
yeah. It's like if you took Saturday is for the Boys and turned it into a movie, but like combined it with like a Sigma grind set. Because they're all like wearing suits and stuff.
I just thought it was like a for the boys movie, but just like as British as possible.
It was very
Um,
British. I mean,
Also, I just like to to the fans out there. We did see the poll in the last film or in the last film review where Real Steel won. We'll be doing that next, but
yeah,
we were already planning on doing this. So,
this one, yeah,
uh, yeah,
that made it easier because I already owned it. Because it's we'll get to
yes,
why, but hint,
we hear
it's a
you.
good
We
movie.
hear you.
We hear you. Huge
We hear you.
Ackman and the Real Steel is coming. Um, and there's the little kid. I don't know his name.
I don't know.
Um, the Gentleman. It's very British. Everyone in that movie is British except for Matthew McConaughey. Um,
Well, no, no, no. There's the guy played by the rich guy, Matthew Berger, played
what?
by Jeremy Strong. Like
Jeremy
the guy they just
isn't.
refer to as the Jewish guy,
Oh,
basically.
oh, oh! I thought he was British. I thought Jeremy Strong was British.
What is
No, I
he?
guess no, he's not.
No,
No, no, no, no,
he's an
no.
American actor. He's no,
Okay. Thought he. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
My bad. My bad. My bad. I thought he was British. I thought he was
yeah.
British. Okay. Scratch that. Two people are American, and like literally everyone else is British. Um. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, just in terms of the level of Britishness of this movie, I swear they use like slang that like actual British people don't even use. Like I don't know. I watch like a lot of like YouTube channels with British people, and I swear I hear like none of this language
Mm.
ever. Like they use very. I can't give any specific examples, but if you see the movie, like you'll know what I'm
They
talking
were.
about.
Yeah. They said like a nugget over a yard to mean like just a little over half a billion or whatever. Right.
Yeah,
500 million or
and
whatever he wanted.
I think the weirdest part was the fact that Matthew McConaughey, which is like one of the most southern people, like southern U.S. people possible,
Mm-hmm.
like just him say like because he also uses the slang in the movie and it just I don't
Yeah.
know it just seems like very out of place to me.
Yeah.
uh
I mean,
I don't know what you think.
they talk about that, like him being English or not English, American, moving to England and creating
Yeah,
his empire. But he probably drove his Lincoln across the Atlantic Ocean, across the pond to get over there.
yeah,
Uh,
indeed.
all right, all right, all right. Well, let's get into the plot itself. I think this is a good place to start.
Yes.
Um, this one is a little complex. It's a crime action film, sort of. Um,
A
I
lot of
think
action, a lot of crime.
there is a lot of action. There is a lot of crime. So Matthew McConaughey plays the principal character in the film as
Yes,
Mickey Pearson is what
yes.
is his name. Um,
Michael, aka Mickey Pearson. Yeah.
Michael, aka Mickey. Oh, Michael.
Yes.
Um, he's so in the plot they talk about it. He's an American who comes over to England for higher education, and while
Yep.
there, he makes his money selling kush, marijuana,
The
the Mary
ganja.
Jane, the ganja, the weed in England, and he's built himself quite an empire because I guess it's really expensive over there and across the pond. I'm not sure how much it is actually is in real life over there, um, but I mean it's enough to make Matthew McConaughey rich. Um, Anyways, he doesn't want to run the business anymore, so the
He's
entire
out.
he's
He
out.
wants
Yeah,
out.
he wants out of the life of crime. And the
Yeah.
entire premise of the movie revolves around him wanting to get rid of his empire. Um, and so he tries to sell it to Jeremy Strong's character,
Yep.
Matthew Berger. Uh,
Burger.
Matthew Berger. That's his
I think he
name.
just goes by Matthew in the movie though, or something.
Does he?
Like I don't remember them calling him Matthew Burger. I could be wrong.
Matthew Berger.
But let me
Yeah.
see.
It's a pretty intrinsic plot, or not intrinsic. Oh, that's not the right word to use. Complicated. Um, so yeah, Matthew wants to buy the business from Mickey, and however, he tries to do a little goof on Mickey, and he hires people to like attack, like raid the farms,
The
which
yeah, the
yeah, the
compounds.
compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, raid the farms, and this causes I guess you could call it like a security breach. So he has to like close everything down, and from there it's just like from there he can lower the price, or ask for a lower price due to like compromised security. So he's trying to like I don't know what you'd call
Yeah.
it like
Yeah, he's trying to Jeremy, if you will, was trying to pull a fast one on
on
Mickey
old Mickey
by
Pearson.
lowering his stock prices.
Mickey
Lot
fucking
of
Pearson.
stocks going on so far in the podcast, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he
Um,
was on that Sigma grind set, but we'll soon find out why that doesn't really work out for our boy Matthew. Um, and so what's interesting though is that so there's like plots that start out diverged and then they like come together to form the whole story. So at the same time, Mickey snubbed um, the um, I guess I think he's the CEO of like a tabloid magazine in England called Big Dave.
Big
That's
Dave.
that's just what he's referred to. He's played by Eddie Marsan, who's a phenomenal actor. And so Big Dave's mad because he got trolled by Mickey, and so he hires the private investigator, who I think, hands down, is the best character in the movie, Fletcher.
Yep, for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
this might be a callback to the Fletcher movie itself, starring Chevy Chase, which is also a really good movie. But in that movie, he's like a private eye, and in this movie, Hugh Grant, who I normally don't like, but I loved him in this movie, plays Fletcher, who is a private eye hired by Big Dave to expose Mickey Pearson's illegal business dealings. And so here we can see we have two plots. However, what makes them intertwined is that Fletcher has his own goal to make extra money. So he goes to Mickey. Well, not directly. He goes to his underling, Raymond Smith, because he always said it like that. He's like, "My name is Raymond Smith," and he goes to Raymond Smith and asks for money, and he'll throw away all of the evidence he gathered as a private eye on Mickey's illegal dealings. And That way, Fletcher gets, as he called it, double bubble. He gets paid by the editor, and he gets paid by Mickey Pearson. Um, and so there's actually a third story as well involving a character known as Dry Eye, who is an Asian gangster in London who hears that Mickey Pearson is selling his business and wants it for himself. So he either wants to buy it, and if that doesn't work, he wants to take it by force. This causes a bit of tension because Mickey doesn't want to give him the business. So we have three plots that all wind together. Am I missing anything here? This is just like the setup,
I don't
right?
think so.
It's a very long plot, and it's a long movie too.
You don't really know what's going on for a bit.
Yeah, it kind of gets revealed altogether. I guess we should say before this spoiler warning.
Spoiler alert.
We've kind of just set the stage. We haven't
necessarily. We haven't revealed.
We haven't revealed how it goes down. We've kind of, we've created the tension. There's all, all these like three different arcs are kind of like clashing with each other.
Right. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, sure. If you don't mind, I just want to touch on the director background.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about the director background. So the director of this film was Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
I know his name's Guy. He's like, all right, Guy.
Is not to be confused with the guy who played the Mandarin, not the real Mandarin, the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Ben Kingsley?
I forget what his. No, the I am the Mandarin guy.
Yeah, that's Ben Kingsley.
No, like the guy who had the extremist serum.
Oh, yeah. Isn't his name Guy too?
Yeah, his name's Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. There's a lot of guys. Guy Ritchie, Guy Pearce, Guy Prosper, Guy David. That's.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Guy.
Anyways, he's pretty good. One of my, every film he's touched turns out pretty good, except for Aladdin. We won't go into that, but he is famous. I think what made him famous was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, starring Jason Statham. I like that movie a lot. It's a good one. I'd say some other ones he's well known for are the two Sherlock Holmes films starring Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, those are really good. I like them.
Yep. And then
actually, I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, you haven't seen A Game of Shadows? That's one.
No.
It's pretty good. I think they're making the third one right now. And then the last film that's probably somewhere in my like top 20 favorite films of all time is The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I'm super sad is not going to get a sequel because it was amazing. However, I think the sequel got killed once it was exposed that Armie Hammer was a cannibal.
Oh.
We don't have to get too in depth on that, but I mean, it's he's a cannibal.
Wait, is this the guy the movie was based off of, or is this an actor in the movie?
An actor in the movie, Armie Hammer. He was he was in Call Me by Your Name. He was the older guy in Call Me by Your Name.
Really?
He's a cannibal. He has a cannibalistic fetish.
What?
Yeah,
he's
been fired / left all his future movies he's gonna be in, and like his agent dropped him. Yeah, it's pretty bad. He's being investigated by the Los Angeles Police Department for sexual assault, rape, and cannibalism.
That's not good.
So I think, in short, we can just say The Man from U.N.C.L.E. 2 is probably not going to happen. It wasn't
Yes.
anyways before this, but I mean, this was all within the past, like 9 months or something like that. Like turn of the new year is
He's
revealed that.
6'5". That's a tall Campbell. That's what he said.
Yeah, there you go, tall cannibal. Um,
Enough about Army Hammer. Let's go
let's
back
go
to
back to
the
the movie
important things like The Gentleman and good things like The Gentleman.
and not
Great
cannibalism,
movie and not cannibalism.
not cannibalism.
The
Um,
Gentleman good. Cannibalism bad.
yes.
Has to be said.
So we've already talked about how it's quite a lad film. It's like a boys movie.
Yes.
Um, I think that comes with the cast, but also the things the actors do in the movie, like drinking and killing and gangster stuff. But
Yeah.
also the interestingly enough, the dialogue in the movie is actually pretty witty. I think
Yes. Yes.
there's a lot of verbal jokes, as well as scenic jokes that are based on like filmography and things like that. But the script itself is pretty good. Um, it leads to some pretty funny jokes.
I would agree. I specifically my favorite part of the movie was the toddlers, uh, which is this like group of I don't know if they're early amateur boxers, but uh,
Yeah,
they basically there's this guy called the coach, and he's a boxing coach, and they're these boxer guys, and they go by the toddlers, and basically they're hired um, to raid Mickey's like what we were talking about. They raided his compound, and they made a music video about it, and like it's pretty incredible. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Just search like the toddlers music video, or just watch the movie because you'd see it then.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, my favorite member, and I think Prosper, you know this, is
yes.
Jim.
Jim the
Jim
Chin.
the Chin.
We
Yes.
all love Jim the Chin. So the toddlers, um, yeah, they all have like super cool nicknames like Shadow and Laser, something like that. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. And then it's just like Jim, and he's got a chin, so they're like Jim the Chin.
Yeah, and they basically they just have like it's like none of these guys have like guns or anything. They just kind of like show up at this
At the
compound
at the compound, yeah.
and they just start beating people up. Like
Yeah,
it's
but
just a
it's
fist fight.
like when they come down, it's like one guy comes out, and then he just like keeps calling out like all his buddies who work there, all his mates. It's like
Yeah.
Downey, and then he's like Jordan, and then he's like Lewis, and it's just like one
One
by
it's
one
like
that they're like, who wants to fight? And then they fight. I think they refer to it as like fight porn, right? He's like, he's like,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's character is like, why am I watching fight porn in one of my farms or whatever, something like that. So that was in terms of comedy, that was probably the best part of the movie. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Also, the coach has a really good moment in like the it's like a shop or like like a small
the
restaurant.
yeah, the small like fish and chips restaurant.
Yeah, and like some three like just some young lads
Mil-
approach him with
Millennials.
millet. No, it's not. It's like Gen Z, man.
Yeah, I don't know. They were like Fortnite dancing, and they tried to get a victory royale
They
on him, but
they Fortnite dance at him with knives, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not having that."
not having that.
And he just like he just like wins with his hands,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Come on, give." I think he's like, "Come on, show me, give me some good dialogue or something." And the kid's just like,
Fuck
"Fuck
you.
you." He's like, "Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
You gotta give me more than that." Yeah. Oh man. I'd say that those are definitely highlights of the movie. Just in terms of individual moments, but
hmm It's definitely more
no.
of an adult film than Speed Racer. Um, in terms of like some of the topics that or things they talk about, some of the
Oh, for
words they
sure. I mean,
use.
yeah,
It's
not safe for kids.
it is not safe for kids. I believe it is rated R. In fact, I would not be surprised if it's not rated R.
Is
Um I
um
mean, they do say some pretty frisky words, and there's some pretty frisky stuff, and
yeah,
uh
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, wait.
I mean, and it talks about drug use like weed and heroin and alcohol abuse and poisonings and shootings and cutting,
That's
cutting,
true.
killing. Yeah. And the soundtrack is really good too, which is surprising.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Like, I'm not. I think we touched on soundtrack last week about something. I can't remember what it was.
Uh, it was uh, it was Shang-Chi and then
Oh yeah, we were talking about
Black
how
Panther. Yeah.
yeah. The soundtrack in this movie was really good. It wasn't an original soundtrack, so it was just a lot of songs that some people may or may not know or heard. But
So I want to kind of talk about Dry a little more because he's like, it's kind of like at the beginning of the movie, it's not clear how he fits into everything. It just kind of seems like he is this like side character, like trying to like get into the business and everything. Um, I mean, he's a pretty interesting character. Obviously, a very shitty person, um,
yeah,
but he's interesting.
I mean
And there's just
he kills his uncle, right, and then like pees on him.
yeah,
If I
yeah,
remember
that was
correctly.
yeah, Lord George, I believe. Yes.
Yes, he kills Lord George is Dry Eye's uncle, and he kills him and then pees on his body. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think on the not good person scale, he's definitely up there.
Yeah. But Henry Golding's a nice guy, I'm sure. He
Oh
does a
yeah,
good
no
job.
doubt.
Uh,
He's a good actor
yeah.
too, and he does a good
Yeah.
job bringing that character to life, being like
Yes.
creepy, but also at the
Um,
same time like suave.
yes. I think, although I did like Dry Eye, as an interesting character, I think my favorite character is definitely Ray.
Ray.
Raven.
Oh,
Raymond. Yeah,
Ray
yeah.
Ray Smith. Yeah. It's played by Charlie. uh,
Jesus.
Charlie
Hanam.
Hunnam. I don't know. Maybe one
Yeah.
day we'll get to the bottom of how to pronounce his name.
It's definitely Hunnam, but
Hunnam.
yeah, it's definitely
Hunnam.
Hunnam.
Hunnam. Hunnam.
Anyway, at the beginning of the movie when he's talking to Fletcher, uh, yeah, Fletcher's like, "You got some meat?" He's like, "Yeah, I got some. Was it wagyu?
Wagyu.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I got some." Or like he reluctantly is like, he's like, "No, fuck this guy," but he like brings him some
Yeah.
wagyu,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
think we have
revealed
to
that some guy's head is in his freezer
in the
next to the
freezer.
meat.
Is the
Yeah,
Russian kid.
yeah, Aslan. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
man like Aslan.
Yeah, I think the relationship between Ray and Fletcher is pretty solid in the movie. It's pretty funny because they both hate each other and they're both like using each other,
Yeah.
but like it's very like
Yes.
cordial and stuff. Like they have drinks with one another. They have wagyu steak. Um, and they banter back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like there's a hidden love there.
Yeah.
I think
There was a lot of sexual tension
exactly.
between Ray
They
and Fletcher
there
throughout
was
this movie.
there was
That's what we're
heavy
trying to get at
sexual tension. Um,
with no payoff, unfortunately.
unfortunately, well, I mean, they are the last two Well, no, they're not the last two characters we see in the movie, but they're in one of the last scenes of the movie together. Um,
Yeah.
Ray kidnapping Fletcher, but um, their relationship I think was one of the strongest driving forces behind the movie. Um,
Yeah, and Fletcher, like, basically throughout the movie, when he's talking to Ray, he's kind of going over what he believes to have happened, which is pretty accurate. And he gets everything right, and Ray's like, kind of like, oh fuck. Um, and he has like and throughout the movie, you're kind of led to believe that Raymond's like this guy is like he's gonna have to pay him money or like the 20 million pounds that he wants. Um, and but then at the end or towards the end, Raymond reveals that there was one thing that he didn't account for, which I believe was that they already knew all this.
yeah, they already
And
knew a lot about it. They were just getting him to
yeah,
fill in the
they already
holes
knew
by like,
everything.
yeah, by like baiting him to just reveal everything. So they used
Yeah,
Fletcher while Fletcher was trying to use them to get more money. So it was like a nice like mind,
mutually,
yeah,
yeah, mind games. Yeah.
mind games.
Oh, and the toddlers they help out.
The
They help.
toddlers, they become good guys. They help out
Yes.
Mickey Pearson by saving him at the end of the day by killing. Though that's the thing. Like I thought that they didn't think that they were trying to save Mickey Pearson, right? Like they were trying to kill him, right? They just knew he was in that car. They didn't know he was kidnapped in that car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they were like going to kill him, but like at the end of the day, it like all worked out. So they didn't
What?
kill him, but they killed all the Russians in the car.
No, they weren't trying to kill him.
Oh, I swear that they were trying to kill Mickey Pearson.
No, because the coach was working with Raymond.
No, I know, but remember they were like, "We're gonna get you out of this, coach. We're gonna end this once and for all." You know what I mean? Like they didn't know he was
Like,
kidnapped by Russians in that vehicle. There's no way they could have known that. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm assuming they were going to kill Mickey Pearson. But it
well,
just, you know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, also they captured Pig. I forgot about that. The toddlers captured Big Dave and forced him to have
Have
sex
sex
with a
with a
pig
pig.
and blackmailed him.
Yeah, that's how they got him to not print the story about Mickey Pearson's cannabis dealings, and
Yeah.
that was pretty funny. He's like, I know karate or something like that, right? When they kidnapped him, yeah,
Oh man.
the whole movie was all very British, so it was pretty funny if you like think that British people are silly, which I think is a
If
good
you don't
portion
like
of the.
British people, you might not like this movie.
I.e., if you are outside the United Kingdom, you'll like this movie, and if you're inside the United Kingdom but not inside England, you'll also like this movie. So, I guess that's one way to look at it. Um,
It says, it was. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like English people would like this movie too.
yeah.
If you're English and you're watching this for some reason, give us a comment below. Did you like this movie? If not, why not?
Well, yes, David, I did find the movie quite famishing.
I'll give you a solid 5 out of 10 on
Yeah.
that accent.
Oh, thank you. One thing I
But
thought was funny. Oh, go. Keep going. Keep.
no, 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 no. Go ahead. I
I
wasn't
was.
gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. I thought it was funny how at the end of the movie Fletcher pitches his movie to Miramax. Right, he pitches the
Yeah,
script
yeah,
of the story, but Miramax produced the movie.
yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny, like a nice little.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, again, I think it's to go into very little details would be a bit too long for this, but I think overall this movie had like a lot of very good like small little details like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was very
Like
smart and witty, and
yeah,
yeah, it was all around enjoyable. I've watched it
yeah,
multiple times, and every single time I watch it, I always am am enjoying it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen it once, but when you watched it back, was there anything like when you watched it the second or third time? Was there anything you noticed that you didn't notice before? Maybe.
yeah, I mean, you do usually with every movie.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, sometimes there are things like in the plot that fade from your memory, and you're like, okay, well, how did this happen? And then you're like, oh, okay, you remember things like that. I think the second time through is when I realized that the toddlers I think were trying to kill Mickey Pearson. Um, because like there's no way they could have known he was kidnapped, so there's no way they would have tried to save him. You know what I mean? Because they were already in the motion of trying to kill him before he got kidnapped. It just so happens that their actions resulted in him being saved. So I mean, in the end, it all worked out. But that's one thing I noticed on my after viewing
Really?
it the first
Are
time.
you sure they just weren't told to attack the car? Because
Um,
he was kidnapped in the. Oh, was he kidnapped in his own car?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, because they were like, we're gonna end this once and for all. That's what they said to the coach, or something like that.
Because he
Um,
was kidnapped by Aslan's dad, right?
yeah, the Russian guy who got killed, um, and was in Ray's theater or freezer. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's one thing I noticed is that the toddlers were fixing to kill Mickey Pearson, but
Oh yeah, no, they did. They did allow him to. They did kill the Russian guys by accident.
yeah, um, something things like that. Um, Other than that, I mean, with a movie like this, it's like with as complex as the plot is, and as much as the story turns and changes, you can only really enjoy it the most the first time you watch it, right? Because you don't know what's gonna happen, and
Yeah,
after that,
yeah,
after you've watched it, you know what's gonna happen. So any rewatch is, there's that element that's missing, but it's still an enjoyable movie to rewatch. To see the story unfold, and also to see the witty banter between the characters and see how they change and interact throughout the movie.
yeah. I mean, I think that like all the characters are pretty likable, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I disliked a single character.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty violent. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is rated R, but it was pretty violent. There's some very adult themes, like you said. Um, and yeah, literally, like in the third act, Dry Eye just tries to rape Mickey's wife, which is pretty bad, obviously. Um, and yeah, so like sometimes, like some parts of the movie, I think are harder to watch than others, but overall, it's a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah,
And it was a good watch. Good watch.
a good watch.
Yeah.
I would agree. Um, Trying to think
Yep.
if there's
Anything we missed?
anything we missed. I know the movie did face some criticism for its depiction of Asian people, um, with characters like Lord George and Dry Eye, and especially some of the dialogue directed towards them. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
but
Yep. For
I feel
sure.
like that wasn't like the movie trying to be like, like a birth of a nation, like trying to be racist. I think it was just like accurately depicting how like you know British people behave towards people of Asian descent. You know what I mean?
I kind of get what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah. It wasn't like the
yeah.
like Guy Ritchie um was like trying to be racist. You know what I mean? It was just he was accurately depicting how someone who's in that situation would react. That type of person. But I know even then after there was some criticism about how Asian people in the movie were depicted. But I don't think it was a problem. Because I think the movie had a different goal
Yeah.
altogether than depicting.
I'm reading an article right now, and it says that Henry Golding, who was in a he was in Crazy Rich Asians, which is like a very
Yeah, I've seen that movie many times.
very influential movie, and like really for Asians in Hollywood was like incredibly important film. And he responded. He said he didn't believe that it was problematic, which he kind of said what you're saying in that um, it's like in that world like
That
gangsters
yeah
would be racist.
yeah that's
Like it's kind of like if you make like I mean it's not the exact same thing, but it's like if you make a movie like in the past and people are racist, like
yeah that's what I mean. They're
that's
just
not racist. Like you make a
yeah
period piece and like people are like the Jackie Robinson movie. Like if you didn't include racism in that, it wouldn't be realistic, obviously, because that's an incredibly important part of the film, even though
yeah.
it's terrible.
42 you're talking about, right?
42, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, with
I
Chadwick
like that.
Boseman.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Um,
and kind of like what you're saying. It's like, yeah, it's.
yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't
it's
be.
it's not trying to be racist towards black people. In fact, the movie's quite the opposite. I mean, this is a little bit more on the extreme, like other side of the spectrum, where it's like about that. You know what I mean? About
Yeah,
such things
yeah,
as like
yeah, for
racial
sure.
division. Whereas this movie is just trying to tell a story and accurately portray the types of characters in that movie and how they would react to certain situations.
Yeah, I'm sure you could have written the movie without that too, like to kind of play devil's advocate on that. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, if the characters or if the actors playing the characters didn't think there was a problem, I don't think it's too big of a deal. I could be.
I don't think it's a big deal at all. And I mean, he could have not portrayed it, but at the same time, he did portray, like the, I guess you could say like Asian, uh, crime world in England. He portrayed that, and so, there were Asian characters in the movie. So in that situation, the like the English characters, British characters would react to Asian people that way. So I mean, it's accurately portraying it. I think is important because I mean, you can also say at the same time it also addresses that type of problem. That it still exists and
Yeah, yeah, and I think also, just also in the article, it was like talking about being like anti-Semitic or something with the Jeremy guy or whatever, because he was. I think there were some.
that's interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, there were definitely times in the movie he was just referred to like as a Jewish guy or something,
Yeah,
or
Jewish guy, um,
yeah, yeah, like
Talmudic or whatever it's called.
yeah, which is like, I mean, I'm Jewish, and I literally wasn't bothered whatsoever by that. Um, just
Yeah,
speaking for that part of the movie, but uh, like I don't know, like I think like what we're saying is like you
yeah.
know you can't expect gangsters to be uh not racist like
To
they
be
definitely
like
would be in real life.
PG or PC
Yeah,
or just having good manners. I mean, they're
yeah, it's a more
fucking
real.
gangsters.
Yeah, they're not good people.
Yeah, yeah,
They're definitely
exactly,
not good people.
exactly. I think you could sum that up, and they're just accurately portrayed that way, which I mean is what film is
There's
for.
probably yeah, I think there's probably not a single good person in this entire movie.
Yeah, like we said, all the characters are good and stuff, but like they're all bad people. You know,
Like they're entertaining, but they're
they are
not good.
entertaining, but no, not a single person
What
in
is the
this
moral of
movie
this
is
story?
exactly. Just makes me want to create my own drug empire. I'm
It's
gonna
it's kind of funny. Like the movie's called The Gentleman, but literally,
literally no one in the movie is a
like
gentleman.
ironically so.
Yeah, Like they all dress nice and they some of them talk
Yeah.
fancy and they all have a lot of money, but like at the core of it, like none of them are gentlemen. They're all mean, they're all cunning, they're all selfish. They all just want to take. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's a movie about gangsters,
It's a gangster movie. It's I guess you could say
gangs of New York.
it's the gangs of New York, or like the Goodfellas of the UK.
Yeah.
Um, but it's entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that's something we can take away from it. I mean, if you watched it, let us know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Uh, to the yeah.
Jim,
Anyway,
Jim, Jim, Jim,
Jim the Chin,
Jim,
Jim, Jim,
Jim
Jim,
the
Jim,
Chin,
Jim,
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 Jim.
Jim, Jim.
All right. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this movie?
Um, not really. I think covered most of what I want to talk about. I know I wasn't as enthusiastic as the Speed Racer one, but I am a big
Well, that's
fan.
because that movie was a fever dream.
It was. It really was a fever dream. This movie was more of just like a you're gonna enjoy it all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an enjoyable movie. It's a very different movie to Speed Racer, like we said before. But I don't know. I think they're both very good and both very enjoyable to watch. And I think that's the great takeaway we can have here.
Yes, and I think that's something we'll be striving for with the movies we review. Are not we're not going to be reviewing like bad movies and like just doing like the like just talking shit on bad films. I generally just want to keep it to enjoyable movies that I could
Yeah,
recommend to someone to watch if they don't watch a lot of movies, just so they're not wasting their time like watching Twilight Part 73, or you know
yeah, for sure.
or they don't know where to go and they're watching like some like fucking
Yeah, I mean,
Denzel Washington film from
it seems like there's
2002,
a yeah,
like
it
Deja
seems like
Vu.
there's an endless amount of content, but
There
only
is.
some of it's good. Only
Yeah.
some of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
And
I guess
we'll
good is subjective, but you
yeah,
know,
but I mean, I think
this is our recommendation.
yeah, exactly. And I think we're pretty good film gurus. We'll help guide you through this spiritual
Yeah,
adventure
number one
definitely
experts in the
in film.
yeah.
Did you guys see us walk the red carpet at the previous Oscars? I did, because I was there.
I wasn't there. It was my astrology sign said I couldn't do it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I don't have anything to add. If
I
you don't
don't
have
have.
anything to add, I think we can wrap this one up. Thank you for watching the Proscats
Okay.
episode 2, the number 2 podcast in the world. Uh, this time we reviewed The Gentleman from Guy Ritchie, the 2019 film. And next week we'll be reviewing Real Steel. Thanks to your voting. We're going to
Starring.
put some more video options down below, and you can vote on them for the next year. We're going to keep the other options that we had before. So Shang-Chi is going to be uh, in the voting poll. And thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day. And yep, we will see you next week.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.